Go ahead, drop the thing down to the floor. I've been on the road so long, forgot I had a home. I'm out in Miami, it's celebrity galore. I got what I need, but I always want more. Always going on, that's why they call me No North. But you could call me Norte. In the 911, pull off in a Porsche. I ain't never losing sleep from what these horses say. Just get my good side, make sure that shit 4K, yeah. Baby, I've been serving L's like the weed man. Ain't even signed yet, you could get it freelance. I'm walking in with a bag like I'm in the NBA. Feel like I'm always vacationing like I'm Chevy Chase. Before these shorties come upstairs, I need an NDA. I swear my life getting crazy, gon' bust off any day, yeah. Hey, gon' bust off any day, yeah. Go ahead, drop that thing down to the floor. I've been on the road so long, forgot I had a home. I'm out in Miami, it's celebrity galore. I got what I need, but I always want more. Always going on, that's why they call me No North. I'm out in Miami, it's celebrity galore. I got what I need, but I always want more. Always going up, that's why they call me No North. Always going up, that's why they call me No North. But you could call me Big Drip. I've been busy out here repping for the misfits. I can't promise I won't blind you with a wrist flip. I keep this money on my mind to get me rich, yeah. Yeah, hey, yeah. I never had to tell a lie to get a bitch, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, drop that thing down to the floor. I've been on the road so long, forgot I had a home. I'm out in Miami, it's celebrity galore. I got what I need, but I always want more. Always going on, that's why they call me No North. I'm out in Miami, it's celebrity galore. I got what I need, but I always want more. Always going up.
What's that? So we got back now, dude. It's your boy PJ21. As you want to say, welcome back to my channel. And also, how you guys doing? And also, if you're feeling happy or sad, then my entertainment should bring you joy. And also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, repost your share to all social media platforms. And also, don't forget to hit the post notification bell for future videos. And also, get the Peaceful Gang merchandise at teespring.com/PJDigitalMildadsGang. And I have a promo code too as well. Welcome 15 in all caps and the number 15. You have to get 2 items for that code to activate. So for this next reaction, it's on like because I feel like I've done like a lot of reactions on this man's channel. And his name is Mori. So it's not the show Maury. It's spelled different. Mori. And this is the title. It says the 13-year-old girl who lost her life to a monster. All right, so let's check it out.
13-year-old Tristan Bailey was found dead on May 9th. She was found in a wooded area near her neighborhood covered in stab wounds. And when Sheriff Robert Hardwick was interviewed, he mentioned that he didn't want to disclose the specific number of times she was stabbed. But according to another updated statement from the sheriff himself, he said, and I quote, "It brings me no pleasure to be charging a 14-year-old as an adult with first-degree murder. It was clear to us after we looked at what happened that it was not only appropriate to charge the defendant as an adult, but it was really the only charge we could make." And per an article from abcnews.com, they say, he offered new grisly details about her murder, noting that there were 114 stab wounds found on Bailey, citing the medical examiner report.
Damn, like, nigga, why so many times? This nigga's crazy. Something like, seriously. Like, he didn't do it just one or a couple of times. He did it exactly 114 like stab wounds.
And at least 49 of those wounds were to the hands, arms, and head that were defensive in nature. Quote, "She was fighting for her life," Larisa said. To say it was horrific could arguably be made an understatement. And a lot of you may not know what a defensive wound is, but per Google it says that defensive wounds are any type of injuries that result from an attempt or repeated attempts to defend against an assailant using such sharp-edged weapons as knives or blunted instruments such as fists and clubs. Such wounds are usually deeply indented stab wounds, but can be either blunt or sharp in nature.
Look, it had to be like in one of those cases where like she broke up, or it was like one of those toxic relationships, and like they were having a fight. Like that's because that's the only two like reasons I could give like for this murder.
So while this presumed psychopath of a 14-year-old boy was trying to murder Tristan Bailey, she was actually fighting for her life. You know, she must have been putting her hands up and trying to block her face and I just can't imagine what she must have been going through at that point in time. That has to be the worst nightmare for any girl of any age, to be fighting for your life like that in a situation of which you don't know you're going to survive or not. Tristan Bailey was a cheerleader at Patriot Oaks Academy in St. John's, Florida. Multiple media outlets have posted pictures of her smiling with braces and blonde hair in cheerleader uniforms and fancy dresses. And in these photos, it showcases her to be a fairly happy-looking girl. But once her death was announced, it brought her entire community to a standstill. She was reported.
I mean, look, it be like the cheerleaders, though. I'm not gonna lie, son. Like, it be the cheerleaders that, like, the boys are trying to get at, and like they can't because they so popular and whatnot, and so they go about it in a different direction.
Reported missing on May 9th, earlier on the same day that she was found. Someone with her description was found on surveillance video in a residential area with the sole suspect in the case around 1 o'clock that morning. And later, around 3 in the morning, the suspect was seen walking back carrying some clothes. And this suspect is a 14-year-old boy, often unnamed by multiple news sources since I suppose they're uncomfortable with disclosing the name of a minor. However, there were other news sources that disclosed his name. And his name is Aiden Fucci.
The best morning routine for
That nigga sound Italian. Like that. These Italians, I'm not being stereotypical. I'm just saying that like y'all a little rough and y'all a little like too like dramatic.
However, before Tristan was found and when he was still only considered a witness to her disappearance, Aiden posted a selfie of him in the back of a police car making a peace sign with the caption, and I quote, "Hey guys, has anybody seen Tristan lately?" I mean, honestly, at this point in time, although this kid is not convicted of anything because they're still investigating the story, I'm pretty sure that this guy did it as they were the only ones seen on camera together after midnight. And then he goes ahead and posts this kind of picture while sitting in the back of a police car, I guess being smug or trolling or taunting the victim and her family. I mean,
How did they even let you still have? Wait, hold up. So you telling me he took he was on social media, right? He was on IG, and then he still had his phone on him. Like they didn't take his phone. They didn't handcuff him. They didn't do anything to this boy. They just put him in the back of the police car and just said, "Yo, do you want to go on social media? Do you have any like anything you have to like? No, do you have like anyone to call?" Like this man went on social media, took a selfie in the back of a police car.
And if it turns out that he actually didn't kill her, he's still an asshole for trying to make a joke out of this thing. In any case, he's currently being held on 1 count of second-degree murder by the Department of Juvenile Justice. And the evidence they've compiled against him is as follows. His image on the surveillance camera, along with the someone that fits Tristan's description, another video of him walking back alone later that morning, along with, and I quote, several items of evidentiary value were found in the boy's room that have a presumptive positive test result for blood. However, exactly what these items are have not been disclosed to the public. But what's most shocking is that Aiden apparently made several admissions of guilt when being interviewed by the police. After he was arrested, there was a Zoom hearing to discuss his detention. The judge ruled that he is to be held in juvenile detention for at least 21 days. And during this hearing, Aiden didn't make a statement, nor did his attorney return message for comment. Also, Aiden's father was reported as showing little emotion towards this hearing. His mother, on the other hand, was crying her eyes out as he was read his rights. And obviously, when you're dealing with criminal cases like this that involve minors, it can be a very tricky and bumpy road to traverse, since this whole case will determine how Aiden's future turns out. You know, a lot of
I mean, look, hold up. 21 days, that's it? Like, this man killed a girl. Like, seriously, so, like, he murdered. How y'all gonna only give my man 21 days instead of 21 years? Like, that should be, like, some years. Like, not days. Like, I'm guessing, like, for like, manslaughter involving a minor, like, it only takes, like, 21 days? That's it?
A lot of people are just worried that charging someone with something so intense at such a young age could make it so that they could never repent and have an opportunity to live as a free adult. However, Sheriff Robert Hardwick seemed to have a harsher stance, saying, and I quote, I can tell you that the man is a cold-blooded killer. And I hate to say man because he's just a child, but he committed a man's crime. Yep, I know, this entire thing sounds crazy, especially for a couple of 13 and 14-year-olds. On May 10th, though, it was decided that he would be charged as an adult. And this charge was more specifically of premeditated first-degree murder, which could also very well mean that he'll be spending at least 40 years in prison since he's about 14 years old, and 40 plus 14, what is that, like 54? He'll only be 54 years old if he makes it another 40 years in life. I mean, that's kind of
and on good behavior and parole and whatnot. Because I think like he deserves the 40 years. Like, yo, you murdered a girl. Like, how you only deserve 21 days?
crazy to think about, but hey, that just goes to show you how much life ahead of him is gonna go to waste if he's found guilty of this charge. In any case, later on May 21st, Aiden's original attorney withdrew from this case, and the judge presiding over this case had allowed this change. And to be honest, his own attorney withdrawing from this case is a really bad sign that he actually might be guilty. But I think it's very important to tell you guys that apparently it's not because the lawyer wanted to leave, but it's because Aiden's family couldn't afford the lawyer fees, and so they applied for indigency instead. And I know, a lot of you may not know what that word means. Hell, I didn't even know what that meant 5 minutes ago. But apparently, if a person, a family, or defendant is too poor to afford a lawyer themselves, they can have one provided to them by the state via indigency.
Yeah, cause like that's what every police officer says you'll be given a lawyer if you can't provide one for yourself. They read your Miranda rights and whatnot.
New word of the day: indigency. Indigency, suffering from extreme poverty, impoverished, archaic, deficient, totally lacking in something specified. So a homeless person would be indigent. So that basically meant that he qualified for a public defender. Unfortunately though, public defenders have a very bad reputation of being incredibly incompetent. And I'm not saying all of them are, but a lot of them, especially in the inner cities, are not so good. However, this investigation is still ongoing and the evidence is still being reviewed. And I know a lot of you probably wanted more info on this case, but you gotta understand that cases involving minors are very hard to get info from, and we're at the beginning stages of this murder trial, and murder trials often take a very long time because you got to make sure that every single piece of info that you're using to prosecute a suspect is accurate, or you can risk losing the case. And that goes for the defendants and their attorneys as well. Not to mention, you got to get a jury that is unbiased, usually people who don't live in the area or who haven't heard about the story. And the judges themselves have to sift through all the info, hear both sides, and try to be as impartial as possible. But whatever the case may be, I really hope that whoever did this, we're presuming that this kid did it, are punished to the fullest degree of the law because they took the life of an innocent 13-year-old girl, and her life will never be coming back. You know, I can't imagine how her...
Look, I'm sorry to stop this, but also I forgot another reason why this 14-year-old boy did it, because maybe the girl, maybe he liked the girl and she rejected him. That's how it's in.
Father and mother must be feeling, especially her father. Like, we all know fathers are typically more attached to their daughters because that's their, their little girls. Even when they grow up, they still view them as their little babies. It's just that father and daughter bond, I don't know how I would be able to move on in life losing my daughter in such a tragic way. But I want to know your thoughts and opinions on this. If any of you live in this area, let me know, because I would really love to know more information about this case. I'll try to keep my ears open to see if any more info comes out about this. And if there are any major updates, I'll probably make a little short video explaining what they are. In any case, with that being said, you guys already know who it is. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay safe out there.
Nah, I was just talking about that thumbnail I see for the next video, and where they really put that in the kids cupcakes. And this was I forgot second or third grade teacher giving these kind of cupcakes and we used to have pizza parties, we used to have cupcake parties when we were little. I don't know what was her motive to doing that to the kids. What the kids do to you? That's I want to know what the kids did to you, son. So the 13-year-old girl who lost her life to a monster, Let me know in the comment section what you guys thought, and also don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, repost your share to all social media platforms, and also don't forget to hit the post notification bell for future videos. And it's your boy PJ21 signing off, and repeat.
Do you slide on,
bitches. We keep on coming while we running for your juice.